Everyone tells you to start with ChatGPT, and I understand why. ChatGPT is powerful. I use it all the time. But if you're a business owner trying to make your first serious move with AI, I'm not sure ChatGPT is where I would start. Not because it's bad, because it gives you too many possibilities at once. And when people have too many possibilities, they do what people normally do. They play with it for 2 days, get impressed, get confused, and then go back to their regular routine. So today, I want to give you a simpler place to start, a practical one, a tool that solves one real problem right away. Start with a tool that does one useful thing clearly. Because once you see AI save you time on something you already do, everything starts to make more sense. You stop thinking of AI as a toy. You stop thinking of AI as a threat. You begin to understand it as a working tool. And that is the whole point. The first category of AI tools I recommend for many business owners is not a writing tool. It is an AI meeting notes tool. Tools like Otter.ai or Fireflies.ai. Not because they're the most exciting, they're not, but because they're immediately useful. If you have meetings with clients, staff, suppliers, committees, partners, or consultants, you already know the problem. The meeting ends, and then the real work starts. Who said what? What was agreed? Who is responsible for the next step? What needs to be sent? What was the deadline? And if nobody writes it properly, 2 weeks later, everyone remembers the same meeting differently. That is where this kind of tool helps. It records the meeting, creates a transcript, prepares a summary, and pulls out action items. In plain English, it helps you leave the meeting with a record instead of a memory. This is why I like it as a starting point. You do not need to learn prompt engineering, you do not need to write a perfect instruction, and you do not need to understand models, tokens, plugins, or whatever the tech people are arguing about this week. You just use it as in a meeting where you're already going to have. The meeting happens, the tool listens, then it gives you notes. That is simple, and simple matters. Because the first AI experience for a business owner should not be impressive but useless. It should be useful immediately. Here is the before and after. Before, you finish a 1-hour client meeting. You spend another 30 or 40 minutes writing notes, checking your memory, drafting the follow-up email, and hoping you did not miss anything important. After AI, the meeting ends. A few minutes later, you have a transcript, a summary, and a list of action items. You review it, you correct anything that needs correcting, you turn it into a follow-up email, done. That is not theory. That is time back on your week. And more importantly, it gives you a cleaner record of what was discussed and what was decided. Now, a few important warnings. First, do not trust the transcript blindly. AI gets things wrong. Accents, names, technical words, people talking over each other, background noise, all of that can create mistakes. You still have to read it before you send anything to a client. It is a draft, not a legal record, not a final document. Second, privacy matters. If you're recording a meeting, say so clearly at the beginning. Do not be clever, do not hide it. Just say, I record my meeting so I can focus on the conversation instead of taking notes. Is that okay? Simple, professional, respectful. Third, check the current pricing before you commit. These tools often have free tiers and paid plans can change. Start with the free version, and if it fits your needs, test it on a few meetings and only then decide if it deserves a place in your workflow. Here is the interesting part. Once you use a meeting notes tool, for a few weeks, ChatGPT becomes easier to understand because now you have seen what AI does well. It takes a lot of information and organizes it quickly. It gives you a first version. It saves time on the mechanical part. But the judgment is still yours. That lesson is important. And once you understand that, you're ready to use ChatGPT properly. So here's a simple experiment. Use an AI meeting notes tool for your next 3 meetings. Not forever, not because I said so, just test it. See what it saves you. See what it gets wrong. And see whether it helps you stay more present in the conversation. That is a very good first step with AI. The book is in the description if you want the full roadmap. And subscribe if you want a practical AI idea at a time. Next week, I will show you how to use ChatGPT properly without turning it into a guessing game. I will see you next week.